Welcome to the Learning Lab class, Find Your Next Read with Novelist. My name is Melissa, and I'm one of the Adult and Teen Services librarians at the Arcadia Public Library. We're going to be taking a look at individual search results in Novelist to help you find your next read. So let's get started. In our previous videos in this class, we looked at searching by browsable lists, the search bar, or the advanced search. I'm here on a page with a results list for John Grisham that we searched for in the previous video, and we're going to be taking a look at what's available about individual items and how you can use that information to find title, author, and series read-alikes that could be your next read. When you perform a search or click on a browsable list, the results are going to be in this center column. The results list breaks the results into tabs for books, audiobooks, series, authors, and lists and articles. So let's talk about what information is available for each of these items in a search list. For books and audiobook results, the results will have a title, the month and year the item was published, the author, a short description, the series, if any, and then accelerated reader and Lexile information. Then there's some ratings, and then the categories that it falls into, as well as links to title and author read-alikes. So let me find one that has a series so you can see what that might look like. So this result 10, A Time for Mercy, has all that same information, but it also has a link to a series. If you don't see the series link, it's very likely that that item is not part of a series of books. I'm gonna go back up to the top here. And we're gonna take a look at the audiobooks tab. Again, audiobooks are gonna have very similar information, but it will have an additional item of duration. And then instead of title read-alikes, it's going to have audiobook listen-alikes. Novelist can also help you find other series that might be of interest to you based on the same appeal factors about whatever you search for. This results list will give you the name of the series, the most recent publication date for an item in that series, the author, a short description, the ratings, and then the categories. And then it will also have a link to the series read-alikes. Series read-alike lists look much the same as the title and author read-alikes, but they will have slightly different information. So let's take a look at what those title and author read-alikes look like. So for a painted house, I'm going to click on the title read-alikes, and it's going to give me a list with a lot of information. So right up top, it's going to have the name and the author for the book that you were looking at and a short description. And then it's going to give you a list of other read-alikes to that book. It'll give you the title and the author, and then the reason that that item was suggested. If I go back and do the same thing for author read-alikes, again, you're going to have the author's name, a description of the author, a little bit about the author, and then it will also give you a list of other authors that are similar to that author and a reason that that suggestion was made. You'll notice that the reason is often signed, and that's because experts make these recommendations as opposed to, say, a computer algorithm. There is thought and a person behind these recommendations, which makes them that much more effective. I'm going to go back and we're going to take a look at series. And if I click on that series read-alike, again, you're going to get the series name, the series author, the descriptions, and then the suggestions or recommendations, again, with the series name, the author, and the reason for the suggestion. Okay, let's head back and let's take a look at an individual record to see what information is there. I'm going to look at this A Time for Mercy. So I can get to the individual item record by clicking on the hyperlink of the title. And this is where you'll get some additional information about the title, author, and the series if it is in a series. On this individual title record, you're also going to get more information right up top in the form of appeal terms, which again, Novelist uses to augment the data about genre, subject, geographic location, and reading level. These are broken down into genre, themes, character, storyline, tone, and writing style. If the item has media mentions, they'll be listed below that. And then further down in the center, the information defaults to the reviews tab, but there's also additional tabs sometimes available if there are audiobooks, and then also more information about these books. So on the more information about this book, it's going to give you, again, those appeal factors, but it'll also give you subject headings and where they got that information from. Sometimes, depending on the item, there may also be a tab for lists and articles, and that's going to point you to other places in the database that this item is mentioned. So on this individual book record, there are title readalikes on the right-hand side, and I can click on these titles to be taken to their pages, to their individual records. So I clicked on the title, and it brought me to its page with additional information about it. I'm going to back up because if I don't want to click and go back and all of that, I can also just hover over the cover without clicking on it. And what it's going to do is it's going to bring me up this pop-up that gives me additional information about why this is on the title readalikes, suggestions, recommendations. And it'll give you the title, author, a short description, and an explanation as to why they matched with the item that you're looking at. You can also get readalikes for an author by clicking on the hyperlink with the author's name. And for that, you'll be taken to the author's page. It's going to have additional information about the author. It'll list their books and audiobooks and series. And then here's that lists and articles tab that I was just mentioning. And if we click on that, I'll show you what that looks like. It's got links to other places within the database that talk about this particular author. For an author, the author readalikes are going to be, again, on the right-hand side. You can click on the name to get to the item, a record for that author, where it will also have all of their information. If you hover over the result, it will give you that same pop-up with a description and the reason that it was matched with whatever you are looking at. I'm going to back up one more time and we're going to take a look from that original record at what a series page looks like. And so I would get to a series page by clicking on the hyperlink under the series. Again, it's going to have additional information about that series. So it will have the description and some appeal terms. And then the series readalikes are going to be over here on the right-hand side. Again, you can click on it to be taken to that record, or you can hover over it to see why it was suggested. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to that original record that we were looking at and show you one more thing that can be really handy to help you find your next read. So for all the individual records that we look at, whether it be a book, an author, or a series, on the bottom center, there's another way to search. So I'm going to scroll down past all this information, and there's going to be the search for more box. You can construct a search from the appeals terms in a specific record, or again, by performing an advanced search that we looked at in a previous video. And you would perform the search for more by clicking off metrics or appeal terms that you are interested in. So I'm going to go ahead and select fast-paced and suspenseful and plot-driven. And I'm going to go ahead then and click search. And so that gave me a ton of results. I got 6,200 results that met those metrics. If I head back, so that was a lot of results. So I'm going to add another metric. I'm going to say legal thrillers as the genre and go ahead and do my search again. And that got me a much more manageable amount of results. So 110 as opposed to thousands. Now, sometimes when you do your clicking off, if you clicked too many or some that are terribly specific, you might not get any results. So what I would suggest at that point is just to back up, come back to the screen and deselect one or two options to see if you can get some results. So I'm going to go and do that search again, and then we're going to take a look at those results. Again, you can sort them by different metrics. You can filter them on the left-hand side and explore the individual item records that this new search has just created. Now, the final step for using Novelist is to check in the Arcadia Discovery Catalog to see if the items are available in our library. I recommend just having a tab for the Arcadia Discovery Catalog open, and that can be found at discovery.arcadialibrary.org. So once I find an item that I'm interested in, you can head over to the catalog to immediately search to see if the library has it available. So say I'm interested in this Mississippi blood. I would come here, perform the search, and see what's going on with it at the Arcadia Public Library. Just a reminder, Novelist is comprised of almost all the books that are published, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the Arcadia Public Library owns every single one. So you're going to want to check over in the Discovery Catalog to make sure that the item is owned by the library and what its availability is. In this video, we talked about how to understand individual search results in Novelist to help you find your next read. This is the last video in our Learning Lab class, Find Your Next Read with Novelist. We hope you will check out our other Learning Lab classes, and as always, feel free to reach out to library staff if you have any additional questions.